I want to see it on the TV once, so make sure it's in a good spot.
And like,
and we can hear it.
And Grandpa, he used to work like they used to work in the factory. No, he was. Could I say a junk man?
Sure, whatever you want, whatever you
think. It wasn't. They used to call him junk man.
Junk man?
But he was. You know, they used to. How would you call it? Like they used to. Like we'll say, they used to. People used to buy clothes. I don't even put that. I can't express it. But actually, that's
junk. All junk.
Junk. Yeah, but really, they used to buy clothes and then bring it to this factory, and the women worked there, and they assorted them. Like they put the coats here and the sweaters there and all that, the better ones. And they would sell them to these like stores that they were like second-hand goods. And the people were poor, and they used to buy their children's clothes there. But that was his job, just to get introduced to America. But in Italy, their families used to have bakery stores. Like they used to make bread. When Grandpa settled down, this is the truth.
I hope so.
No, I mean, I'm telling you what you said, tell the truth.
Yeah.
And he opened up a bakery on 24th Street between First Avenue and the river. It was beautiful.
That's the east side now.
East side, yeah.
Okay, so we're not in Harlem anymore.
Well, it's at 120, why?
Because I thought Harlem was on the west side. That's the Upper East Side.
Upper East Side, up in Manhattan, that's what I said.
Yeah, it's not Harlem though, because Harlem's the west side, I think.
Yeah, no, that's what they used to call it.
Is it all over? Maybe Harlem's all over.
That's what they called it.
Okay.
And there was no, those kinds there at that time.
Yeah.
So you can't say it was that.
Refer to them as blacks.
Huh?
Refer to them as blacks.
Yeah.
Say blacks.
There was no blacks. Well, that's what I was going to say.
Okay.
There. But there was a couple of buildings, like we lived in tenement houses, and it was so beautiful between First and Pleasant Avenue. And there was some blacks there, but they were beautiful. They lived like they were one of us. It's the truth. And there was one man there, they used to call him Duty, and he was a black man.
Duty?
Duty. And he used to love the children. And as we got older, and then I don't know for what, but he started gathering the people, like from, I would say, I lived on 24th, on 25th, on 23rd. And he used to make like, used to have like a May walk. And he used to bring us to Morris Park. And, wait, I'm telling you. And he used to bring us to all the children. Grandma couldn't come because she had to be in the, then I said we opened up, Grandpa opened up a bakery store. Yeah. And Grandma used to stay. So I have my older sister that was about 18 years, as I said, older than me. I forgot 18 or 15, I don't remember. Well, anyway, whatever. And she had a couple of children, because she got married when she was 16 years old.
Oh, wow.
That's the truth.
Yeah. And
some children were our age, because we were born here. She was born in Italy. She was the first of being of Grandma's children. And she was born in Italy. And when she came to America, naturally, she came to America when she was a little girl. And she married an Italian fellow, too, from the other side. But they had come here. And so she had children. And we used to go, like we used to march to Morris Park, and Aunt Angie used to take care of us because we were kids. And she was very young, and she had a couple of her young children. Some of them are older than Uncle Tony. Isn't that something?
It's strange.
Yeah, well, yeah, got children together because Grandma was young.
Right, makes sense.
Yeah, well, that's very possible. So anyway, so we used to bring our sandwiches, and sometimes we used to tell us, if you want to have a little costume, it was wonderful. You come there. We used to march from 124th Street between First and Pleasant. We used to go to Morris Park. Let me see, where was the Morris Park? Where was that night? Where was that night? At the end of, like, what avenue? I think it was at Madison Avenue. I think it was Madison. Either Fifth Avenue or Madison Avenue. I would have to call up Aunt Josie. She would remember.
It's okay.
All right, I'll call her, because you're going to do it again. Now, and we used to go there, we used to bring over we were kids, and a bunch of kids, We used to look forward to May, because he used to take us every year until we got older. And we used to all sit around and, on the floor, play ball.
At the park?
At the park.
Oh,
All the
great.
children, their mothers would be sitting around.
Did you have a park near you?
Yeah, by Morris Park.
No, I mean, how close was it?
Was like, we lived between First and Pleasant. I think that was on Madison Avenue. And we had to walk, all the kids used to walk, and we had the older, some women, they volunteered to take care of the children. And he used to organize this place thing and bring us there. So at 3 o'clock, so Grandma used to everybody gave their child 10 cents. Now this is,
Right.
you know how many years ago? Gave them 10 cents, and at 3 o'clock, the bells would ring, and all the kids, though, we used to wait for 3 o'clock, because we used to eat, the sandwiches, ice cream sandwiches.
Yeah,
You know
of course.
those?
Yeah, I love
Well, that's in those days now. A little sandwich this much, 10 cents, and we used to go all get online, all the kids, even their parents, because they bought, and the grandma used to give me a dime, Uncle Mom, all the kids a dime each. And we used to wait for that sandwich, and then we used to go down and sit down on the grass. We used to enjoy that sandwich of ice cream, because we didn't buy ice cream that much those days. And then we used to continue to play. Then I think it was 6 o'clock that we had to bring us back home. And by the time we gathered, they couldn't find this one, they couldn't find that one. And all the mothers with their baby carriages, like Aunt Angie, she was young. And then we used to take us all home. He was terrific. Then,
This was Duty that did this? The guy's name?
Duty,
Duty.
colored man.
Really?
What a doll. He used to love the children.
It's great.
Oh, everybody loved him.
How about the neighborhood, though? Was it like all Italians that
Huh?
went? All the people that went, were they all Italians, or was it
All
everyone?
Italians, and some were Irish.
A couple Irish?
Oh, quite a few.
Really?
Because they lived like 123rd.
So he got everyone. He just like mixed
Yeah,
everyone?
like, no, see, not we'll say from 116, because like 125th, 124th, 123rd, 120th, like that. Those
Right.
are, the people that our own group, And it was quite a few.
It's fantastic.
The man of the ice cream there, he was glad. Because
Yeah, I bet he was.
He used to make all that money. And from then when he had to gather us all together, then this is when we were growing up.
Right.
Then another time, then there was 123rd, there was we were all Catholics, and there was these places where the missions were, where they used to be in the stores, and they used to, they're all Protestants. So, and they used to have all their, like their church, like all the Jews, they didn't care, they wanted Catholics to go and sit on the benches and pray with them, and it was beautiful. And they used to give like bread out,
Nice.
Yeah, that was really good. And we used to sit there. And then every once in a while, he used to give like, whoever recited the best and whoever, whoever wanted to volunteer, he used to give them a gift. So I volunteered. Hey, Josie should tell you the story. Hey, Josie was quiet. So I volunteered and I got on the desk and I recited, like a poem. However, but it was, I forgot until now I remember. And I won. I won a shoe all full of candy. I won the first prize.
It's great.
Yeah. Then, I'll tell you, they were good days. Then these people, they used like missionaries, we'll say. And they had they lived 123rd. They had like a place where they used to give bread, like American bread. And like us, we always had Italian bread. Real good Italian bread. And those kids, they used to go and get that bread. And they got it for nothing.
Right.
But they used to love that Italian bread. So then we used to exchange. He said, "You give me 3 slices of yours, and I'll give you 3 slices of Italian bread," because we loved that bread, you know,
Really?
American bread.
Oh, that's funny.
And another thing, a lot of people used to make homemade bread, Italian homemade, but they had no money and yet the bread that Grandpa sold, like you get maybe 2 pounds for 5 cents, you could feed a family. And then they didn't even have that nickel. Things were very bad. They didn't have that nickel, and like at the end of because the men used to make $6 a week, you know, and they had large families, and there was no home relief or things like that, and they used to charge it. Now one day, and I was growing up, and Grandma had the store, and we had the book that you came, took 2 loaves of bread, 10 cents, and they used to pay you, or they didn't pay. They didn't pay you, we used to put it in the book. Now one day, this fellow by the name of Marco, he used to live on this top floor in our apartment house, a tenement house, and Grandpa had the store there. So I think you could get rich there because, as I said, the people were poor. And then you sold the bread cheap because the cost of living wasn't high, but the salaries were very low.
Right.
So now this kid came and buy a loaf of bread, 5 cents, Marco. I always tell your mother these stories, and those were all true stories.
Cool.
So I happened to be there, so I gave him the bread, and he gave me the nickel. So I said, I'm not going to put this nickel on the tab like I'm going to spend it myself. So what happened at the end of the week, when I think of those days, at the end of the week, when the mother came and said, got an egg, you know, what do I owe you? I want to pay you. Let's say it was for 2 weeks maybe. Well, let's say it was 5 cents. We'll say it was 75 cents. And and she said she had her little paper, and it was 70 cents because I had taken that nickel. So Grandma said, no, but Antoinette, this is 75. No, I gave Marco, I paid that day. See, I had to remember those days. I gave him the nickel. I was a kid, so I didn't know if they were going to. But anyway, I wanted that nickel. So she said, Marco, she called up, Marco, the poor kid was a nice little fat boy. He came down and said, didn't you pay Camilla when you came and buy the bread, we'll say Friday? He said, yeah, Jenny was there. I gave it to Jenny.
You got you.
So Grandma came and looked for me. Imagine for a nickel it had to be. So Grandma said, Jenny, did Marco pay you for the bread that day? I said, yeah. So she said, well, why didn't you tell me? Why did you mark it? See, I marked it on there. Because I figured Grandma. So anyway, Grandma didn't hit me, but she scolded me. And that poor kid, he got a couple of slaps from his mother. Then when we got older, we used to talk about those things. Well, we were really young, you know. Oh, I tell you, really, those were the days. Oh, they were beautiful days. And then you want to know about like how we lived. And we were, see, they were poor, but they were one happy family. Really, it's the truth. And sometimes some men used to play, and these are young people I'm talking about it. Mm-hmm. But, and our Uncle Frank was born in South America. He was born in Brazil. And he was the oldest of the sons. And, because Angie was the oldest, and I think 2 other girls, and then Uncle Frank, you know. Mm-hmm. So anyway, and he used to make the bread. His grandpa taught him the business, and he was a baker, good baker. And anyway, and then he was growing up. As I said, they were much older because I was the 8th child, you know. So, and then when they came from Italy, you know, you don't get children, you know, right away from Italy there.
What?
So, no, what I mean to say, they were born there.
Right.
And then Grandpa and Grandma came to America, you know. What I mean, they were a lot older than us.
Oh, right, okay.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
And Angie was so much older. Uncle Frank was next, and it was Uncle Patsy, Uncle Monty. Those other 2 were after Uncle, I think before Uncle Frank, and then Uncle Frank.
Uh-huh.
And anyway, in fact, see, I'll tell you about Uncle Frank. Now, and then they used to have like parties, like baptisms as a child was born. They'd have a baptism, and they'd have like cookies, homemade cookies, and nice. Like they'd have macaroni. You never had steak in those days.
No steak.
No, it was, but it was
expensive,
expensive,
right.
You know. So they used to make like potatoes and meat in the oven and things like that. And they used to make all these things and get all the whole building got together and danced and laughed, and the children used to run around happy because it was a party. Those parties used to last like until very late. But and they used to drink their beer. That time they used to, they used to make their Italian wine, but not everybody because people they didn't have too much,
Right.
which is the truth. So when it was a party, it was such a big thing, but they always were happy. They used to visit each other. Oh, we always talk about that. Me and Josie and Coletti, it makes everybody laugh. But anyway, but Grandpa and Grandma, they weren't that poor. Those people were all poor, but as I said, the cost of living was terrible. And it was very good, but the money that they got.
Right. No pay.
They all had large families. You never saw a family with less than 7 or 8 children, So, and it was hard to feed them. And then, as I said, we used to have wonderful times.
This is all in Harlem still?
Always there.
Right.
When we were growing up, because then I was young when I came to the Bronx. We moved up in the Bronx. Grandpa always had a chain of bakeries then, as we got older.
He had more than one?
In the Bronx, we had, that was the year I was getting married. We had one on Upper Avenue. I was the main one of the breads. We had one on Belmont Avenue with the oven that used to bake the bread. Uncle Frank was making the bread. But he was married now. We're talking about when they're older. He had one on where the senior citizen on the boulevard when you turn. That used to be one of Grandpa's. So he had like a chain of stores,
That's great.
Oh yeah. Then it progressed. But as I said, the bread wasn't as the money, like the bread you sold it for like 25, 50 cents. Now a loaf of bread, like this, is $1.75.
Right.
The flour wasn't as expensive. Then Grandpa started with the pizzerias, and he was the Half Moon Pizzeria that's on Upper Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
That was Grandpa, not the 187. You ever see that's a full moon, they call it now.
Yeah.
But that was the half moon. And Grandpa and the man that owned all that property, at that time, there was the Savoy Theater, a movie house. And Grandpa, the one that owned, he had a lot of money, this man. And he was best friends with Grandpa. And he knew that Grandpa was in this field. And Grandpa had sold his last, those little bakeries, that he had. He said, Tony, so why don't you open up a pie store? Because Grandpa knew a lot about bread. So Grandpa said, yeah, I would like to. And he said, but you know what I'm going to do for you? He said, you see this Savoy Theater? Now, see, you don't know our neighborhood.
No, I don't know.
You know where what is the other one? Sal.
Rigoletto.
Rigoletto. Right. Did you notice that there's a library there?
Yeah.
Well, that was the Savoy Theater. That was all that man's property. So this Savoy said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to break this down. I'm going to make a pizzeria for you.
Really?
Yes, Mom.
Wow.
And he made the pizzeria. Grandpa had a big bar, and it was a beautiful place. And he made the Savoy Theater where the library is. As I said, that was his property. And that Savoy Theater was there. And we were growing up. I was married. I used to go there with my mother. And that pizzeria there, that library that's there, it's only built, we'll say, maybe it's about 8 or maybe 9 years, 10 years, maybe, like that.
Really?
Grandpa had that. That was Grandpa's friend. And that was out there. Instead of being 187, he made it there on Hughes Avenue.
I see.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's terrific. And life was beautiful. There's so much now. The way the life is today, forget it. The world is so corrupted. But the way life was then, I wish I could live to be in those days. And then Grandpa had the bakery. Then, as I said, he opened up the bakery, the first bakery on 124th Street. Mm-hmm. After, I told you, he worked in these little things. And we were growing up I was 7, 8 years old, And Grandpa used to have my brother Patsy, Uncle Patsy that passed away a few years ago. he used to deliver the bread. And they used to deliver it, I forgot to tell you before, he used to deliver it with the push cart.
Uh-huh.
You know those
Yeah, I've
push
seen
carts?
those.
And in the morning you see them bringing the bread, and Uncle Patty used to count how many customers and how many times the people didn't pay. He used to go up the third floor, fourth floor, knock on the door, leave the bread, right, Patsy, we pay you next week. And Grandpa, at the end of the week or month, he used to go knocking on doors. So many people didn't pay. They, oh, Tony, I haven't got the money. Come next week. That's how poor really people were. And that's not that they were faking it. It was the truth. And, you know, it was hard. It was hard to make a living, but it was beautiful.
But people still were happy though.
Oh, happy. And so I remember those beautiful, in Hollywood, the block we were, was so, it was not too many buildings. Like we lived in 422, there was 422, 423, like that, at 424. And then across the street where the black people lived.
Mm-hmm.
But they were they used to be like, they came from the South, you know, and they were so, they respected the white people a lot. And the white people loved them, they really did, because they, as I said, Dooley used to get us kisses, and he used to drink with all the men, he was best friends with them. See, and he tried to make the kids happy. Another year, he said, you know what? He said, it's going, oh no, you know who did it? The Salvation Army. Well, those people, what did I call them, Protestants?
Yeah.
People that they,
right.
you know, they're like Protestants, that they do everything like in stores. Years ago, now they have little churches. Years ago, they didn't have a church.
Mm-hmm.
See, they had like stores, I told you, and they used to give us candy. Oh, it was nice. They used to, not that they talked us into being their religion,
Mm-hmm.
but they were so nice. Everybody was nice. I mean, and then we used to, so these people said, well, you know what, now we're going to go to Rye Beach. No, Coney Island.
Coney Island, great.
Yeah, Coney Island. He said they rented these buses. Did you ever see them on Fifth Avenue? They got upstairs.
Double deckers, yeah.
Yeah. And that's for all the kids in the neighborhood. That was all free of charge. We didn't have to bring no lunch, no nothing. Oh, you can't imagine that day when we got on that bus. If we wanted to sit on top of one, that was the first time we got on the bus to go anywhere. And he took us to Coney Island, the amusement park. And then at a certain time, all the ice cream, oh, you could go, all those kiddie rides. And then I think 5 o'clock, then they brought us home. That's what I mean, they did it because they knew the families couldn't afford to take them places. Yeah, Coney Island. Because I don't think Rye Beach was there then. It was Coney Island. But I tell you, I mean, this is terrific. I always, me and Uncle, that's why Uncle Eddie, when he talks about when we were growing up, when we were kids, you know, it was beautiful, really, really beautiful. And as I said, then we started to work, and I worked in a factory.
You did?
Went to school, and it was beautiful.
You worked in a factory?
Yeah, they used to make, like, not a factory, but we used to make flowers, branches.
What do you mean, knit them?
No, make
So?
petals, like, flowers. So, we went to school,
Mm-hmm.
and then I took homework, and then from there, where was it that the place was? I think 100 and, it was like a, not a factory, it was like a big store. And you went and you worked and you learned how to make flowers. I used to like to learn do everything. And
Like a sweat? Was it like a sweatshop though? Was it? You know what they used to call those, the sweatshops, where like they had all the people working in a big room, while everybody crowded together. Like, no, it was nice. It was a nice job.
Oh yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't know. Sometimes they get the bad jobs.
No, it was a clean cut job.
Oh, great.
And we used to make the flowers, you know, where your mother says the bull. So
Oh, tell me about it. Tell the story.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great story.
So that's the thing. And me and my girlfriend Josie, my grandma.
Ma, excuse me, did you tell me about Mooney with the parade?
Who?
Mooney, May Day parade. Whatever.
Yeah, I was at my March Park. Where, remember when we passed it not too long ago? I said that's where we used to come.
Yeah.
What avenue was it?
I think Morrison.
Madison Avenue?
Oh, down in the city, Madison.
Yeah, Madison.
And Mooney, he was a black man.
I
No,
thought it was duty.
Duty.
What?
See what you
I
don't
wasn't
remember.
there.
Duty.
I know.
Duty. Oh, what a nice. They used to hug us. We were kids. We were born. And they had families, little families. Their children were so beautiful. And so we went to work. We were kids. I was a kid. Part-time, like.
How old?
Maybe 14, like that. And so my friends, so they used to trust us. Well, they were nice. People wasn't so mean. They were, but we were smart. So we used to make like a dozen flowers. We used to get paid by the dozen. Remember, you make ranching them or making petal. Oh, God, what stories I can tell you about that. So anyway, so then we got wise and said, gee, they don't pay us enough. And they used to come, this fellow out was so good. Said, well, how many flowers did you make? Let's say we made 17. We say, oh, 24. Because they used to come. And then we started to say with the bull, you didn't even, in other words, they didn't think that they knew what it meant. They come on, and Josie, well, she was so honest, she wouldn't dare to do that. God forbid. And me and my friends, oh, with the bull, I made 3 dozen with the bull. And we used to get paid for 3 dozen. We were making nice money.
That's great.
Then, oh, the stories. Then we went to work. We all went to work steady. Really, we used to work all day because I didn't like to go to high school. I would graduate in junior high school, you know.
You didn't go to high school?
I'd be, yeah, for 1 year.
In 1 year at high school? And they didn't say anything, like the law or anything?
Then you didn't even have to go to school.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, you didn't have to go to school. They used to have rapid advance and all that. You get tired. I mean, what you learned today in high school, when you went to high school then, or you went to grammar school, you learned better than they sometimes in college.
Really? It was a lot faster? Better?
No, they taught you different. Today the kids are not even attentive to their work. Not everybody's like you or Elena or Kathy, you know, that you're so attentive like to your work. Not today, they couldn't care less. They graduate you from Fordham U because you play football. Yeah, wait, the football would never get you anywhere. It's very good in those days, but that you're not going to get graduated if you don't know your work. Well, anyway, so we went to work there. Now, Grandpa, I met Grandpa. No. Yeah. Oh, this was after a long time. I met Grandpa, and Grandpa was so handsome, you know. And I knew him not to go like my boyfriend, steady boyfriend, you know, years ago. You couldn't, but he was my boy. I met him. Oh no, my girlfriend's Grandpa belonged to the Nighthawks.
Which is what?
A club, like you say, you belong to this. They used to have dances and a bunch of fellas, nice fellas. And Grandpa at that time owned the bakery and the pie store in Harlem, because we already had moved to the Bronx, that's right. Yeah. And Grandpa had a pie store on 17th Street and 2nd Avenue. And so on Sunday, my friends lived there because I still had my friends, and I never liked the Bronx. And we used to get together. And this here, a friend of mine, one of my friends, her boyfriend belonged to Grandpa's club, the Nighthawks. Grandpa won a trophy there. He had a lot of trophies, ballroom dancing. He was a terrific dancer. So she said, oh, you know, Angie's, one of the members of Angie's club, his sister's getting married, and they having it at the Embassy Ballroom on 60-something. So he told me to bring some of my friends because there's a lot of fellas in the Nighthawks. So they told me, I said, I was supposed to have a date with another fella, but I said, I selected dance, and I wanted to always be with my friends. So we all got together, we went to this, there was me, oh, you don't know these people, Bagumari Josie, oh, so many friends, and we went there. Now, Grandpa, all the fellas, when they saw all the girls, they were all slim, they felt like I am now, all nice girls, nice, you know. Years ago, the girls weren't tall. They were nice, you know, well-built and nice. And we went to the dance there. And all the fellas, you know, she introduced to her boyfriend, Andy. She really was going on steady with him. She introduced us to all and introduced me to that, Grandpa. And so Grandpa asked my friend to dance. Now downstairs there was a carnival opposite in the same block where the ballroom was. There was like, you know, the carnivals. You know what they
Sure.
are.
Yeah, I've seen.
Well, downstairs they could go
Gambling
on
and
the
stuff?
rides.
Oh, okay. I
You
thought it
know,
was the gambling.
there was a lot across the street. You know, like the carnival that comes here.
Right.
But it wasn't as big as that because they traveled, but it wasn't that big.
Mhm.
So the carnival was there. So, and the fellas, you know, we met, we talked and had a, you know, we all danced. So then I said to my friends, I said, you know, Grandpa was dancing so beautiful. I said, oh, that fella didn't ask me to dance. The heck, I said, you know what? I was like a ringleader. I said, you know what? Let's go away now. Let's go away from it. Let's go to the carnival. So the girls said, yeah, let's go and powder up. As if put a little powders in, now they put mascara and all that crap. So we said, yeah, let's go first to the bathroom, and then we'll go there. Well, we came out of the bed. There was all the Nighthawks outside. They were waiting for the girls to come out so they could ask them to dance. So Grandpa asked me to dance. You know, what a dancer he was. So everybody had one of the partners to dance. See, so Grandpa, now I had to go back on 17 with Grandpa, because they would go home, and some of my friends still lived there, you know, on 14. And Grandpa said to me, you want to come to a christening? Because another fellow in his club was married, and they were baptizing his baby, christening. So we're going to a christening. We're going to leave now. You want to come to the christening? So I said, I'm going to ask my friends because I got to go to Holland. I have to, you know, I have to go home with Grandpa and Grandma because they lived in the France. So I asked all my, we were dancing. You want to go? Everybody said, yeah. So, so we got, Grandpa had a cheap, a little car. That, I'm telling you, it was like a shebang. So we all, maybe another fellow or two had others, we crowded in Grandpa's car. And we went 117 Pleasant Avenue, was, see, near Grandpa. And Grandpa was on 2nd Avenue. So, and Grandpa knew I was at the wedding with my friends, and he knew I would go back there with my friend Eleanor. So anyway, so we all went to this, the party was on Pleasant Avenue, as I said. And so we went in, and Grandpa, the fellow was there. They had a little bar in the apartment house. So it was also a tenement. And everybody introduced, like, that girl, Andy's girlfriend at the time, said, this is Jeanette, this is this and that. So Grandpa was here, and I was in back of Grandpa. So Grandpa said, I forgot his name, we'll say Al, meet my wife. I said to myself, he's got some nerve. We always talked about it. I don't even know him an hour. I said, you know. And he said, meet my wife. As if God, look, and I knew him all, because I knew Grandpa a lot of time, years before we got married. And I said, oh, he's got some nerve. I looked at him. I think, you know, fun. So we didn't stay long because then we had a little sandwich. They used to make sandwiches. And then I had to go home. So we all went home. Grandpa took me to Grandpa's store with my friend Eleanor, and he went away. So now, Daddy did this Nighthawks. The following week, they were going to go on an outing. You know, they had like they rent buses. That was his club that was giving this year a thing. So he said, "You want to come? We're going to go to." That's when they were going to Rye Beach. I said, "Yeah, make believe, yeah." And we didn't go. Yeah, we'll go. We'll come on. He said, "Come on, Pleasant Avenue." That's where it was, because Grandpa lived at 119 Pleasant Avenue. So come there near this candy store, and he gave us a number to candy store. If you don't find, call up and we'll meet you there. You'll come to Rye Beach with us. We said, yeah. So we didn't go. The following week, we went. Oh no, the night of the. That's right. That was the following week. That night, me and my girlfriend Eleanor, we called up the candy store, but we didn't go to Rye Beach. We called up the candy store, and the man answered. I think his name was Barney. He didn't pick it up. Said, is Gus there? Augie. They used to call Grandpa Augie. Is Augie there? So he said, no, they went on the bus ride. He said, but they should be coming. So all of a sudden he sees it, but wait a minute, he said, there's buses are coming in now, and Grandpa was on that first bus. So he called him, and Grandpa came to the phone, and he said, why didn't you come along, whatever I told him. He said, where are you? So I said, I'm 114 at my girlfriend's house. He said, well, come meet us 114 Pleasant Avenue, because the Nighthawks was 119. We had run was near the Jefferson Park. You know the park, Jefferson Park? So me and my friend, and this, I said, she lived on 14. So he said, why don't you come to meet us on our block? So we said no. So I said, no, my dogs come to me. Just the way I'm telling you. So Grandpa and his friend came, and we were talking about he's come, he's missed a good time, and this and that. So then he gave me his phone number at the house of the store. At the house, I didn't remember if they had a phone. So we called him up like a week or two after when I was down there. I called him up, and he took me home with the train. Oh, I tell you, I didn't forget what they said. That's how I started to go out with Grandpa. But we used to talk to each other. Then we start to go out steady. But what a thing to say.
My wife.
You meet my wife. Just say, hey, Alice, meet my wife. He laughed, they were laughing about it because he knew he didn't know me. Oh, we had wonderful times, I tell you. Really, that's really the truth. Growing up in the heart, oh, I wish those days were back. I really do. Yeah. I mean, the cost of it. Then when we used to go to school, we lived, as I said, 124, and we used to go to school at PS 39. That was on 25th Street, I think 30th Avenue, like that. Lovely little school. And the library was right across from there. And they used to have the candy store. And we used to go to school in the morning. Like Grandma used to give us a couple of pennies to buy candy. So we used to go in the candy store. And there was like the broken crackers and candy. Everything was like, like cheap, we'll say. Like you buy, we used to go there, and we used to make those poor men go crazy. All the kids had a penny or two. And we said, we want this. No, we want that. And that poor man with the patience with all those kids. And then we said, I want a penny of these broken crackers. Because they give you a lot. They put them in a little bag. And we'll say something else. Then when we used to come home from school at 12 o'clock, Grandma used to have a little lunch, a plain lunch, and then Grandma used to give us a penny each to me and Aunt Josie. And on our way to school, there was a vegetable store. And he used to sell apples. And the apples were not rotten, but like they weren't, that you can't, So he said, all right, I want an apple, penny an apple. But they were so juicy. That was our fruit for the afternoon. I tell you, those days were beautiful, really beautiful. Everybody was so wonderful. And when, I tell you, then it was, like there was somebody who died, they put them in funeral homes. They didn't even embalm the people those days. And they used to lay them out in the apartments, And there was a wake, it used to be all night. It wasn't that you went to a funeral home, 9 o'clock you have to leave, Over there, you had all night, and the kids in the building. And then they used to put the drapes near the doors to show the building was in mourning. And I'm talking about now when I was younger than what I talked about before. Now I'm just trying to tell you how they lived.
Right.
And we used to have, because the floors were like halls, long halls, a family here and a family there. Next, like this.
Mm-hmm.
Then there were like 4 people on the floor. And the fun we used to have, that was awake, and the kids, we thought it was a party walking in and out, up and down, because we could stay up all hours. And the people, meanwhile, were mourning inside. Oh, God, those beautiful days. You really had a lot of, everybody loved each other. I mean, there was nobody was malicious or anything, but there was arguments with people, tenants, friends, but I tell you, those really were beautiful days, really beautiful. Oh, and then when we went, I had started to tell you, so Grandpa was working, he was driving a truck, he used to work for, he always made nice money, Grandpa. No, Coca-Cola, He worked right after that with Coca-Cola all his life. But this here time, he was working for a grocery store, delivering, groceries. Now, these two girls that worked where we worked, Conchetta and Caroline, they were big girls. And grandfather, he was so really handsome. So he used to, the girls, they lived like in the tenement house with the stoop like this, and they used to wait for Grandpa to, to go in. So Grandpa used to fool around with them. They used to throw him a fruit, and if he took it, they were so happy. Ooh, they had learned his name, Gus. Gus gave me the apple. So we were working there, and my grandmother Josie and everything. So she was working up that way, and I was working in the front. All of a sudden, we see such a big fight. These two girls, they were like, I swear to God, Amazons. They were so big. And they used to bring their lunch to work. They used to offer it to Grandpa. But Grandpa, he's just fooling around with them. So, and that's the time that Grandpa liked me. I told you that he said he was my wife and all that. But he just joked around with them. So they took it for granted that he liked them. So when they were making the flowers, and Josie Perot, my grandma, she was working in the back, and all of a sudden she sees them pulling their hair. She said, "What happened? What happened?" And they were fighting over Grandpa because they said, "This one here," she said, "this here," and she said, "No, he said it to me. No, whatever it was, give me the apple, whatever. Oh, he likes me, they got into a fight." So my girlfriend said, "What are you fighting about?" So they said, "You know what they're fighting about? There's a fellow Gus that works in this big store and delivers for them. And he talks to them, and one said it's her boyfriend, the other one said, no, I give him the lunch." And so she said, "What are you fighting about? That's Jeanette's boyfriend, Because I tell you, so I wasn't even bothering with Grandpa anymore. I said, I'm not going to bother with him. But when I saw that they liked him, I said, I better call him up. I tell you, terrific. We laughed about it with Grandpa until he died. I used to tell him. Then Grandpa was working in the store, in that big factory, big Corton. Where is it a factory?
Warehouse?
Pick the grocery, a warehouse like. And there was the secretary there. Grandpa probably liked her a little bit, and she really liked him a lot. And so I don't know how we found out. My girlfriend Josie, she was telling, said, "Oh, you know what? Somebody said that girl wants to go out with Gus. She's going out with Gus." So I said, as I said, they used to call him Morgie. And then I called Grandpa up because, see, I wasn't that I was going out with. I knew his number, and I called him up. I said, "I heard." He said, "Nah." I said, "She comes and see me big," because Grandpa used to like to play ball. He used to play on Pleasant Avenue, "Nah, she comes and watch me play ball and all that." But somebody had told my girlfriend, Josie, Leonard, her husband, after, that he was going to, he's going out with her. He's not going out with Gina. So Josie brought him on, because then I was her maid of honor, and she was my maid of honor when we got married. And then she baptized the mother, and I baptized her first daughter, We were very, very close. And he said, "No." He said, "Don't believe that." He said, "It's a rumor." He said, "No, I talked to her. She's a nice kid. She works she's a secretary and this and that, but she really liked him." But he liked her, but he maybe liked me better. Of course. They said she was a pretty good. She's going to watch me. Like the girls do today. Life was the same, but it was so wholesome. There wasn't, no, excessive drinking. Girls didn't drink. There was a limit to what they could do. It was a different lifestyle.
Why though? Why do you think?
Huh?
Why? Parents had more control or something? Is that
children were afraid. You know what happened to me now? I'm going to tell you this. How naive the girls were. As I said, we lived in I'm 24. Now, Grandpa, my father, used to love Italian cheese on the macaroni. He was a very strict and stern man. And, we had to do what he said. Then it was nice,
This is the third one where it falls all over the place, and every one of them I lost about $700. It went in.
I don't know.
I'm gonna throw them out. I told you, if I know you were laying down, I said, don't pick it up. You can't lay down, you should know better than me, you can't do it. I'm gonna pick one up. Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna pick it up. No, it's not you. It's not,
Gina.
$500 I want.
So-
$500 for one that I got downstairs. There's one downstairs that's working, and I think you want $500. You want it, you figure it out from that. What do you do yourself? You make yourself so easy. I know.
I tell you, life was different. The girls were so naive. You know what I mean? As smart as we were.
I lose more money than I do stocks.
Now this is a little before what I told you about. But this was like this. Now,
How old?
Grandpa,
How old are you about?
Ooh, I must have been about 12. Now this is before all these other incidents when we moved in the Bronx and everything. But now Grandma said, look, don't make anybody touch you. You know, they tried to tell you, they didn't know how to. Now the mothers, they talk to their children, take the pill, don't take the pill, and all that baloney. That's the life today, and it's accepted. You know, it isn't that you say, well, she is and the other one isn't. It's accepted this life. But at that time, it was very, very, very strict with their rigidity and, you know, they had a limit. No limit. That when the girl went out and Josie was starting to go out with Uncle Jerry, she had to have a chaperone. And you didn't go out with each other every day or every week or every night. There was a certain time. It was a different life. Mine was a little easier. Now, this particular time, Grandpa came home, and the wives were so attentive to their husband, you know. And Grandpa came home, and we were having soup or macaroni that night. And we needed to, Grandma was out of cheese, so she remembered the grocery store was downstairs. We lived in this house. The walls is like this, you know, like tenement. They were like big.
All right, Gene.
I can't hear.
Yeah, I know.
Wait,
I appreciate it. Hey, listen, let me call
Just 1 second.
up Bella tomorrow. Let her
That's good.
ride,
You want
and
to-
then we see her.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You could see it?
Yeah, I see you.
Yeah.
Straight out of machine. I don't know the key number, Gene. I got it's on one of my keys in my whole ring. I don't know which key number. Yeah, I know. But right now, I just want to relax my mind. You know, let me tomorrow I'll call Bella. If they're going to send this guy Peter out, I'm going to leave the machine
Because
right
we
over.
were never,
And I'm going to go. If he
when
almost
I got
sends it, I'll
married,
send it
Dad
back.
gave me Coca-Cola.
Whatever you want to give me, take it.
And then he went to work and he was very young. But there was no union in Coca-Cola. That, you know, there was a union. Then there wasn't a union that you say you gotta work 8 hours. Or, then it got like that. You know, it was a different pay before they used to work. And the candies, and the summers were so hot that they used to call up for Coca-Cola to midnight. The stores were always open until all hours of the night, and people wanted soda. Everybody worked so hard. Sometimes we get home to 12 o'clock. I'm talking about when he was single now. You know, he started to work there. He was a heartbreaking fellow.
Wait, say this. I want you to say this.
Nice job for him.
All right, listen, right off from my call, don't do nothing with the bell. I need to put the machine down. Let me go pick it up. Well, you know, I can't go a week, 2 weeks with the machine on the road. I learned the thing was about $3. You pay $100, $150 to move it, don't pay. It's ridiculous.
He loves
Now
it.
the guy says, take the machines out, take everything out. Yeah. All right, let me take one step at a time, okay?
But he's good for this business.
Dad, what was up with yesterday's?
A belt broke on the bell bill, there was a piece of the bell bill stuck.
Did you fix the belt?
Well, no, I just left it with one belt. When I go out to Benson, I'll buy another belt, and if we get there, then we'll see what's what. I got another dollar bill if I have to change it, I'll change it.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about the grilled cheese now.
Oh yeah, those days the grocery stores were lived downstairs. There was a nice little man there. His name was Pascal. And he was the only, when the children went there, he always used to hit them on, go like this, hit them on, he was a teaser, kids. So Grandma said, Jenny, go buy cheese. I said, I don't know, half a pound of cheese. Daddy, Papa's going to eat now. And Grandma spoke Italian. She didn't speak English. My mother said, Papa's going to eat. She said, go buy the cheese. I didn't buy the cheese. And as I said, that cheese wasn't on the table, forget it. So anyway, I went down, I bought the cheese. And Grandma always used to say, now you're getting older. Don't make no boys touch you. Because if the boy touches you, that's how they will. Then you're going to have a big belly, and you're going to have a baby. You know, things like that, scary things. And my dad about those things, we were so naive. So they couldn't tell you in other ways, and she was nice then. She wasn't that type to say blah, blah, blah. She said, don't make nobody touch you. Now we were kids, we were even 13. So I said, oh my God. So when I went downstairs, it wasn't drizzling. By the time I got out of the store, it was drizzling. And there was two fellas. One was standing, because the building, you couldn't stay like this. One was on this side of the hall, the building, and one was like this. In other words, you had to go in, and the thing was so narrow, you'd think that they would get out of the way and say, you know,
right.
Oh, they figured she's only a kid, or whoever was sitting there was standing there. Now, I was afraid of going there. I suppose if he touched my arm by accident, I touched him. You understand?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't go out. But then I had to go because my father, Grandpa, where's the cheese, macaroni, whatever. So finally, I decided to go in. And I don't know now. I said, no, I don't know if I touched him or whatever. I go upstairs, I get one cheese, I take a big string. You know the macaroni strings? When you tie the bread?
Yeah.
So I go in the bathroom, I put the string.
You measure? You measure yourself?
I measured myself. I said, no, look and see how. But then that wears off because you're a kid, you thought about it. For a couple of days, every minute. Maybe if I drank too much water, it was bigger. The next day, anyway, that wore off. That's how the family was used about. You know, they were strict. They were very, very strict. And once, we lived on 13, the bakery. And this is when we started to move away from that part of it.
Want water or something?
No.
No, talk a little bit.
No. So anyway, I'm talking about because we were living on 13 because the Grandpa opened up a bakery over there. See, I'm mixing my years.
It's okay.
I mean to say that's how it was. And so we were working, me and Aunt Josie, and we stopped. See, we continued working there. And as I said, we started to work steady over there in this shop. They call it a shop. So we stopped I wanted to buy stockings on 2nd Avenue. And we had to eat at this certain time. We had my aunt lived in the Bronx, and she came to visit us, you know, and she was going to have dinner with us. And it was in the back of the store, but we lived upstairs, you know, upstairs in the apartment. And so there was a nice big kitchen in the store, and we were going to eat. We were going to eat macaroni. So we delayed 5 minutes. Everybody was seated, and when we came in, our Grandpa, you know what he did? He took a and Josie walked in first. He took a platter and he broke it right, he hit it around the head with it.
A platter?
Dish.
A dish, real dish.
Because he sees him, where were you? You're late 5 minutes. That's how strict they were. And now don't forget, we were young ladies now at this time, maybe 16, 17, maybe 16. And then Josie was older. And she didn't get me. I went in the other because there was a little room, but it was Uncle Monty got up. He said, what's the matter with you? You're crazy? You know, Uncle Monty won't think, you know. what are you, crazy? Where did they go? You're coming home from work. And, what are you so, shut him up right away.
You did?
Sure, he didn't realize he never go crazy, yes, but he was ordinary. He didn't hit us. He never did. He was a very strict and stern man. Whatever went through his mind, but I mean, she didn't get hurt like it isn't Betty. And I have to ask Aunt Josie for Brooklyn. I even forgot. Betty's grandmother was Aunt Josie. She always tells us these stories. We always talk about these times, but they're beautiful times. Today the kids are so fresh. You can't do nothing. They tell you to go, mother, daughter, they call them 50 names. The kids, the way they grow up today, they're like animals. And we grew up so innocent, and it's a beautiful life. I wish I was in those days. I don't tell Eddie, that's what he was talking about that night. That's why when he comes around, he loves to talk about old times, even Uncle Tony. Uncle Monty used to love to talk about the old days. He loved it. And, it brings back a lot of memories, but they're good. And you say, oh my God, how could people live like that so strict? I mean, what type of a life was that? Nah, it's better when you, it's like a challenge. Like you do something and you're not supposed to do it, and you know what I mean? It's different. Beautiful life. We loved it. I loved it. I loved that life. Everybody did. Because it's no good when you could do anything you want. You like to fight for what you're going to get sometimes. And that's how we were brought up. But today, as I said before, this is a different life. It wasn't too bad, let's say 10 years ago, 15 years ago. As times go, things get up. Narcotics is so bad. Drinking is so disgusting. It really is. You should see. We went to this. Hello? Yes? Yes. Call your father.
Dad!
Tell him to pick up.
Telephone.
Hello?
So you haven't got around, have you?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah? So, now what I'm trying to say, we went away for this weekend, right? It was beautiful. Our group was terrific. So, well, now they're all people like, I was the oldest, not the oldest, but almost, because these more from your mother's age people. And a little older, and a little younger, because it's all from our neighborhood. And I lived in that neighborhood. And the food was fabulous, the place was terrific, and the Poconos, right? The next day, there was a party for, there was like a reunion of a family.
I can't really hear. Maybe we should go in another room. Maybe
Group came in. They weren't such young people. Oh, they were really young. Oh, it was a family of, that they didn't see each other 10 years.
The whole family?
The whole family. There was a mob. And they came from, like Virginia, different states, really. And they had a mob of children, very young, infants, and they were drinking up a storm.
This is a good time then.
Nah, we didn't like it because we wanted to play cards. We went in the card room and they were drunk. They were really ossified. And they were not young people, they were old, And anyway, that spoiled our, because we couldn't, this was after the show. They had a show, and the band, there were three, what was the name of that band, Rob?
Oh, Folly Park and Farker.
No, that one. Yeah, the first day was Park and Farker.
Folly Park and Farker.
I tell you, Polly what? Farley Park and Farker.
Farley Park and Farker, and the second one was,
Yeah.
I don't know, some
Oh,
kind
but
of trio.
what a band. In fact, I told your mother,
Peter,
said,
what are the three pieces? What a
three,
band.
they were terrific. But all these alcoholics went in there before us, and we were supposed to see that show. It was supposed to be, and they were
that was the
drinking.
next night, the trio.
That
was
was-
Farley.
Yeah, the first night when we were there was a park and whatever, and we danced. In fact, the music was so beautiful that you could really dance, and they were really dancing. It was so nice, conservative people and everything. So it was nice, and after a while, like they had a break, they didn't stop once. In fact, I said to your mother, "Oh, go and get their card." So she said, "Mom, they are from over here. We live in the Bronx." Oh, I said, that band is terrific. All right, so that was that. After they took a break, but they didn't stop one minute. And it was dark, and we said, "Oh, let's go play cards," because we like to play cards. But this was way after 10. And it was all right, we played cards, it was good. The next day, this group comes in of all these people. There was a mob. That they came for 10-year reunion, it was. They had cases of beer. It was terrible.
Terrible.
That's what your mother said. Nah, but you didn't enjoy them because they were all drunk, really. That's what I mean. This is today's world. And you got to accept it. Because they weren't the only ones. Everybody does the same thing today. But, I mean, I take anything. I don't, me, I don't care. I'm not a prude. But some of them didn't like it. They said, my God, we can't enjoy. Because after a certain hour, we had gone there to listen to the music. It was early. It was about 8 o'clock. That's when it starts. We figured we'll stay a couple of hours. But those kids were having a ball. There must have been about 50. With all those and the families were drinking. And there was people dancing, old times music and dancing, beautiful. There was an elderly couple, really old, but they were dancing, beautiful. All right, so we didn't like it. We said, oh, the hell. Then our group came in, and we made it all, we sat like one table this way and the other, because we weren't that many, and one this way. And we were having a lot of fun, but you couldn't go and dance with the other, because those kids would, step on you, you'd tumble over them. So we said, oh, the heck, let's go. Let's go to the other room. We won't play cards. Go there, and there was another bunch of them drinking, and all the tables were taken.
Oh.
It wasn't such a good thing. So we went to one of my friends, one of Mommy's, Lucia. She went to the people who were taking care of the place. Said, we would like to play cards, but the card room, I can't stand that liquor. She was getting nauseated. So we said, all right. And he said, well, I'll get you another room. So it took him a long time to open that door. They finally got us in, and we had to make up our own table because there was a lot of, maybe when they had banquets or whatever, there were a lot of tables there stacked up. But he made room for us, and we played cards in there.
Good.
Yeah, that was good. But I mean, that was the only, what I try to bring out now is, you can't really go someplace and say, well, I'm going to have a good time. They only drink. That's what I mean, not because they were bad people. That's their, one was so, I got one, they had an really elderly woman. They had to carry her like this. And we were behind her. We had gone, I don't know, we were coming from the dinner or wherever. And this woman, she was so ossified. And as I said, she was a bit older than me. And they had in fact, she's tripped because two women were holding her. She was talking nice. But, you can't see where you're going. That Alex had to help pick her up. And then they sat around a big